Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to The Bald Perspective. Let's talk. Baltimore Ravens earned their fifth straight win. Although ugly, they moved to 6-5 and pull up right beside the Pittsburgh Steelers, who lost today to the Chicago Bears for the AFC North Division race. And it's not something I'm super excited about, only because of what we actually saw on the field, which we'll talk about with the detail tomorrow when we assess a lot of what we saw in this week's performance across the league. But nevertheless, man, Baltimore Ravens get a tough fought victory at home. Although it was a double-digit win, it did not seem like a double-digit win. That is for sure. But shout out to Lamar Jackson, man, who is obviously not healthy. And you guys honestly see why I said the Baltimore Ravens should consider sitting him and give him 4 more days of rest, which would have been Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then see what he has on Thursday, because he did not have a lot today. What we saw from Lamar Jackson, we could have absolutely got from Tyler Huntley. We absolutely could have. But shout out to Lamar, man, for toughing it out, man, getting through this game. And he left this game standing up, so that means he's gonna be on track to play on Thursday. Okay, let's get into talking about Derrick Henry. Shout out to Derrick Henry, man, for continuing to power this run game. Although not a lot to today's run game, but Derrick Henry still ran hard, cashing in 2 touchdowns and moving into the 12th spot in the NFL as it pertains to all-time leading rushers with 12,200 yards, if I got that number correct. Man, so shout out to the Hall of Famer, Derrick Henry. Shout out to Keith Mitchell, who showed some flash, and although his biggest run got called back, he's still putting the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff on notice to, hey, put the ball in my hand. I can still make some things happen. So shout out to Keith Mitchell. Let's go to wide receiver. Shout out to Zay Flowers, man, for um, being the only one really to show up in that wide receiving room. Just continuing to move the chains, continuing to get yards after the catch. So shout out to Zay Flowers, man, for continuing to do his thing at the wide receiver position. Shout out to Tez Walker, man, who has not got a lot of run this season, but when he shows up, when he makes a catch, it's always for something big. He has 4 catches on the season, if I'm remembering correctly. His first 3 were touchdowns, and this one was, I think, something like a 25-yarder to get the ball deep into scoring territory, man. So shout out to Tez Walker. I think this kid should get some more run based on what we're actually seeing from the wide receiver room. And so I'm an advocate of Tez Walker getting on the field. Let's jump to the defense. Shout out, man, to Travis Jones, Draymond Jones, Kyle Hamilton, Mike Green, and also Brent Urban, man, for providing some pressure, some much needed pressure. Not a lot of sacks. I think we ended up with 2. Should have had about 4 or 5, but for whatever the reason, when we get the quarterback in our grips, close in proximity, we just failed to bring him down. So definitely got to work on closing those deals, especially with the Bengals coming up on Thursday, man. But shout out to those guys. Shout out to Kyle Hamilton, man, for playing through a shoulder injury. He got dinged up in this game, and then he ended up leaving with a ankle sprain. Do not think he plays on Thursday. So a big loss right there at the end of the game for the Baltimore Ravens. But shout out to Kyle Hamilton for powering through. Shout out to Alohi Gilman, who caused the fumble or recovered the fumble. Marlon Humphrey caused the fumble. So shout out to those guys for being Johnny on the spot, making something happen. But the Baltimore Ravens needed something to happen. Shout out to Nate Wiggins for being in good coverage for the most part, right? Did see some wide receivers running open consistently throughout this game, but I thought Nate Wiggins did play a good game. When you look at what we see from the coaching, head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, I don't think it was an excellent game holistically, but again, we did do enough to get the victory and moving to 6-5, getting over 500 for the first time all season for this Baltimore Ravens team is a big accomplishment. And to be honest, I still don't even know if we have momentum. I don't know if a 5-game winning streak is momentum. It just doesn't seem like it, right? It doesn't seem like we have any momentum going into Thursday. It didn't seem like we gained anything, learned anything about ourselves in this matchup in particular. I just think we beat 5 underwhelming teams over the last 5 weeks, which was expected, right? This is what we said would be the quote unquote soft part of the schedule. And although the Bengals are a losing team, Joe Burrow may be back on Thursday. Pittsburgh is an above average team, but they haven't played well. They're missing their starting quarterback as of today. And I'm just not 100% sure, man, what we can really be. It just doesn't seem like this offense is going to be able to catch fire without Lamar Jackson leading that way. And with those lower body injuries, I don't know if we'll see any type of spark until maybe 14 days from today, right? Quick turnaround for Thursday. I don't expect a whole lot from Lamar Jackson on Thursday based on what I saw today. But then 14 days from now, which will be 9 days of non contact, 9 days of treatment, so on and so forth, maybe we see a different Lamar Jackson in 2 Sundays from now versus what we may see on Thursday. But that's what I got for you guys, man. We'll get into some depth of conversation tomorrow when we break down what we saw around the NFL this week. And until then, I'm your guy Boulanger, and I'm out.